You guys know that white people are not committing any crime. Like none of it is us. It's
What?
all misclassification. All of it.
Every single
White
crime?
people have had this suspicion for quite some time in our gut. We've been like, I don't know. I don't think they're telling the truth about the statistics. In
What?
1955, white people were 90% of the population. They were 45% of the arrests. That's a 0.5 ratio. Today, we're about 55% of the population, and we're about 55% of the rest. So that's
Did white people used to get arrested for like lynching people? Uh, um, I wonder. Yeah, arrest for burning down black villages, black neighborhoods. I wonder.
a 1 ratio. They want you to think that white people have gotten twice as criminal the last 70 years as quality of life has increased. We've been calling bullshit on this for quite some time now. And now we're proving it, right? And we all understood
What?
this instinctually. That's why you're not afraid of white men. That's why you're not afraid to live in an all-white neighborhood.
But you said that white people aren't they aren't committing any crime. So you said zero. Like that's what you said. You said white people aren't committing any crime. So we know for a fact you're full of shit because that's obviously not the case.
That's why you're not afraid to put your kids into an all-white school. And they've been calling white men the most dangerous, radical white men the most dangerous threat to the country for 30 years now. And they've been cooking the books to try and prove this hypothesis. And they couldn't cook them fast enough because that's how non-criminal, non-violent we are. They've been doing this for 2 reasons. Number one, it's so we don't.
Oh gosh, I gotta stop here, man. I can't take it seriously. I can't take it seriously. Non-criminal, non-violent. Man. Every war in the world right now is because of white people. Every single one. Non-criminal, non-violent. In 1955, we were 0.5%. That should show you that they were cooking the books in your favor because in 1955, public lynchings in the United States mostly stopped by the 1950s and 1960s. Yeah. The crime rates amongst white people were so low because they were cooking the books. They were cooking the books. Imagine the most heathenistic group of people ever the most wars, the most violence, the most atrocities against other people. Now believing that they're like the most peaceful and I don't know the systems against them trying to I don't know make them look violent. No, that's just who you guys are, man. Look at the amount of wars in Europe. Back in the days, I mean, that's literally why you guys evolved the weaponry you have, because you were constantly killing each other. And you were constantly having to find new ways to kill each other. And you invented guns and you invented all this other stuff. It's literally through violence. So the idea that you're not violent, where the hell? Like, it literally makes no sense. If there's one demographic of people who actually have been lied about, one demographic of people who have actually experienced systemic oppression, systemic violence, systemic narratives about them, it is black people. So when news actually does come out that the books are being cooked, black people are the ones that should feel slighted or should feel like, ooh, what's happening here?
Now, DC police today began issuing termination papers to multiple police officials who have been under investigation for allegedly manipulating crime stats. News 4 confirmed 2 commanders and a captain have been told they...
The idea that the books would be cooked, but cooked against white, like that makes no sense. It's the dumbest shit ever. In the system that was created to benefit you guys and oppress other people, they would be cooking the books against you. That's so stupid.
They will be fired.
That investigation stems from a story that News 4 first reported on last July after Commander Michael Pulliam was relieved of his command in the 3rd District by then Chief of Police Pamela Smith. Pulliam was accused of manipulating crime data, an allegation that he denied.
News 4's Paul Wagner joins us now live from outside of police headquarters with the latest on the story. Paul?
Well, Anna and Erica, News 4 can confirm that Michael Pulliam was told today by Internal Affairs in the police department that he would be terminated for the actions that he had allegedly taken part in over the last previous year.
Oh, it gets worse.
It was also confirmed that the 2nd District Commander, Tatiana Savoy, was also told today that she would be terminated. Those two are just two of a number of officials that we understand have been told that they would either be terminated or they would face other forms of discipline. It was back in July that News 4 first reported that then Chief of Police Pamela Smith had placed 3rd District Commander Michael Pulliam on leave and accused him of changing crime data, lowering the classification of crime.
So, a black captain in DC finds out that the officers in her precinct, in her department, are manipulating the crime data in the computers.
Why do they care? That's the scariest. Like, what do they actually get out of doing that?
So that when you go search the crime stats, it shows something completely different than what is actually the real thing. A certain demographic, when they get arrested, he goes in the system and finds their classification, and he lowers their crime stats. Whatever crime they've committed, if it's a felony, he brings it down to a like he keeps, and then they're working with the DA clearly, because the DA will eventually drop those charges to a lesser charge, right? And then she fired him for that. And then remember, when she brought it up, accused him of doing that shit, fired him, and then Trump now sent in troops to go take over the precinct. The department, sent troops to take over the department because of that. Now, let's check this out.
Report aired. President Trump, in the weeks after, held a news conference at the White House and announced the federal takeover of the police department. Trump said he was doing it in part because of, quote, phony crime numbers. In our report, Union President Greg Pemberton leveled his own allegations, saying manipulating crime stats in the police department was widespread and that officials on a regular basis were downgrading serious violent crimes to lesser crimes so that it would not show up in the department's crime stats. In the weeks that followed, the Department of Justice and the House Oversight Committee announced it would launch investigations as well. When those reports came out, they were highly critical of Chief Pamela Smith. The DOJ report said Smith's leadership created a coercive culture of fear, while the report from the House Oversight Committee said the chief created a toxic management culture. Chief Smith then stepped.
And then they're blaming her. Imagine that. But the unfortunate truth is, if you're the leader of a ship, there's always going to be accountability on you. But still, it just doesn't sit right with me.
Down in December, but defended her handling of the way crime stats were reported.
So, even the chief of the union president for DC police had to come out and admit that tampering of crime stats is widespread. It happens all over, right? And then the police chief, who's a black woman, was investigated, and they said that she created a culture of fear. You know what culture she created? She told them that shit y'all doing is not gonna fly under my leadership. The toxic culture that they talking about, she basically said, y'all gonna do your jobs. What you swore to do, that's what you're gonna do. We're not doing any of that extra bullshit anymore. That's the toxic culture. She came in and said, I need you to do your jobs. I need you to stop lying. I need you to stop manipulating the crime stats. And they said it created a culture of fear, and everyone snitched on her because, again, white cops. So they forced the black woman to step down because the black woman went in there trying to fix things. She's the one so the only reason this is happening, the only reason these firings are happening is because a police chief, a big police chief, a black woman blew the whistle. If she kept quiet about this, we would never know. And this is why black men always have the highest crime stats, because white cops, not only do they let white men walk away, not only do they refuse to arrest white men, when they do arrest them for those crimes, there are other white men that go in the system and change the data.
I'm trying to think about this outside of a racial component, right? I have no idea about how police precincts work and all that kind of stuff. Is it a paperwork issue? Are they being lazy? So they reduce certain crimes so you don't have to go through certain protocols. Outside of that, I don't know what else to think. Outside of them just being a bunch of lazy pricks, my mind goes to they're cooking the books. They're making black people look a certain type of way. And is it a conspiracy theory? But we've seen it in the past. We've seen the system weaponized against black people before, so it's not crazy to assume that it's still happening. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments.
This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let this go. This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the